Kristaps Porzingis is now a Boston Celtic. After a full day of negotiations with the Wizards and a 3-team deal that ultimately fell through with the Clippers, the Celtics, Wizards, and Grizzlies were able to agree on a 3-team deal that sends Kristaps Porzingis to Boston, Marcus Smart to Memphis, Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala to Washington, and additional draft compensation being moved. Now, my first impression of this move is that Boston is going all in. They recognize that championship windows are short, and they were close last year, fell a little shorter this year, and so they felt they needed to make a big change to their roster that will help give them a better chance in the playoffs next year. And Kristaps Porzingis is coming off a really solid year with Washington. He averaged a career high in points per game, and he was also relatively healthy, which has been a concern for him throughout his career. He's been pretty injury prone. So for the Celtics, one of the things that I'm monitoring over the next couple of weeks and really throughout the rest of this offseason is whether they decide to extend him right away. Because in my opinion, that would be risky since he has not proven over his NBA career that he can stay healthy. But on paper, I do think that this is a pretty solid acquisition for Boston and is going to make things really interesting. The Celtics were probably always going to trade one of their 3 guards. They tried to trade Brogdon first and then ultimately ended up trading Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies. And the one concern I do have with this for the Celtics is what is their defensive identity going to look like? And who is going to be the culture guy in the Celtics locker room? Marcus Smart was the longest tenured Celtic, and he was also the heart and soul of the team. And so I think that is a pretty big loss for them. And on the flip side, I think it's really going to help Memphis. The one thing that Memphis needs right now for sure is culture and veterans with lots of experience. I think Marcus Smart is a great addition for Memphis. And then for the Celtics, I think if this team can stay healthy, that they can definitely make it to the Eastern Conference Finals again and challenge for another finals appearance. But I am very concerned about health with this team because Malcolm Brogdon and Kristaps Porzingis have not proven throughout their careers that they can stay healthy. This trade does give Boston some more depth at big man. They have Rob Williams and Al Horford, but Rob Williams is always injured and Al Horford is pretty old and is probably going to retire in the next few years. So Porzingis gives them a really solid option at big man, and I'm interested also to see what this team's going to look like offensively. Last year, they chucked up a lot of threes, and Porzingis likes to shoot threes, so he does fit that kind of style. And I'm interested to see what the new Celtics coaching staff is able to accomplish with this team. Also, I would not be surprised if the Celtics are not done making moves. I think Jaylen Brown is going to get his extension, but I would not be surprised to see another move or two around the edges to help round out the roster. As for Washington, a lot of people are making fun of them because they decided to blow up their roster the year after Victor Wembanyama entered the draft, and I think that's a fair criticism. They never should have given Bradley Beal that contract extension, and if they were going to blow it up and go full tank, they should have done it last year because anyone could see that last year's team was not going to make the playoffs, much less make a run in the playoffs. But the Wizards now have some good experience in their front office. They seem to be making smart moves. And the reason why I call these moves smart is because they need to rebuild. They need to blow it up and just start over. And so I think getting out of the Bradley Beal contract, even though they didn't get the best return for it, they just had to get out of the contract because it was not a smart decision to make in the first place. And then Kristaps Porzingis, because he opted into his contract before the deadline, then they were able to get assets for him instead of him just walking away. So overall, super interesting trade. And I think just about anybody who was following the deal throughout the day yesterday, like there was just so much drama going on. First, you think there's the 3-team deal with the Clippers, then it falls through because of Malcolm Brogdon's injury history. And then It seems like the deal is going to be off. It's not going to happen. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes before the deadline for Porzingis to opt in, the deal's done. He's going to Boston. And it kind of seemed like it was going to be a 2-team deal, maybe just between Washington and Boston. But then all of a sudden, it's like Marcus Smart is headed to the Memphis Grizzlies. And everyone's like, what? So this is why we love the NBA. And I think this draft week is not done yet. I think there's going to be more drama. I'm excited to see what happens. Make sure you stick around and follow the channel to hear my thoughts after the draft tonight, as well as any other changes that happen across the league via free agency or trades. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to hear all my thoughts on the moves that are made, and I'll see you guys in the next video.